Hello there, and welcome to my Kittens Game tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about religion, specifically— Wait. It's come to my attention that some of you might not have heard of Kittens Game before, maybe you don't know what it is. That makes me question why you're watching a video tutorial about Kittens Game if you don't know what it is. It says right here, this is the Kittens Game wiki by the way, Kittens Game by Bloodriser is a text-based, semi-idle, incremental village management simulation browser game. So you can go play it if you want. If you haven't heard of Kittens Game, you can play it on your internet browser. This video tutorial only covers one specific system of the game. It has like a very narrow focus. Hello there, and welcome to my Kittens Game tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about religion, specifically Order of the Sun. We're going to be covering faith, worship, epiphany, and transcendence. This tutorial contains spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, then stop watching the video and go play Kittens Game or something. Part 1. Faith. This is faith. It is a resource that's unlocked when you research theology. Like a lot of other resources, it has a storage limit, but you can build temples to increase that storage. Temples are the first building you unlock, which produces faith. You can assign your kittens to be priests. They will produce faith for you. And if you ever have any extra kittens, I'd recommend making them all priests because the faith will be useful later on. Part 2. Worship. Once you have faith, you can go into the Religion tab and praise the sun. Or you can click this button over here in your resource panel. You'll get a message in the log saying that you converted some number of units of faith. When you praise the sun, your faith is converted into worship. It doesn't do anything on its own, but when you hit certain thresholds, you unlock upgrades. These religion upgrades cost gold and faith. But if you're having trouble affording the costs, you can assign a philosopher kitten to be your leader, and they give a discount on the prices of religion upgrades. Once you get to 1000 worship, you unlock an upgrade called Solar Revolution. It is the most important upgrade in the entire game. Solar Revolution increases the production of almost every resource. The bonus starts out pretty small, but as you get more worship, it increases. This up here shows the amount of production bonus you get from the amount of worship that you have. Most importantly, faith is affected by Solar Revolution, which means that Solar Revolution helps you get more faith, and when you get more faith, you have more worship, which means a higher Solar Revolution bonus. And eventually, the bonus can grow to be quite large. Part 3. Epiphany. Once you get to 100,000 worship, you'll unlock an upgrade named Apocrypha. Apocrypha unlocks a new button called Adore the Galaxy. If you click it, it brings up a little dialog box, and if you click OK, all of your worship is converted into Epiphany. Epiphany helps you gain worship faster. This number in brackets on the Praise the Sun button shows the bonus provided to praising by the amount of Epiphany that you have. It's the amount of extra worship you get every time you praise the sun. So here I'll praise 600 faith, and I'll end up with 10% more worship than I otherwise normally would have. To develop a strategy around Epiphany, you need to understand two things. Firstly, whenever you gain Epiphany, it is at the expense of your worship, and therefore your Solar Revolution production bonus. When you convert all of your worship to Epiphany, it erases your Solar Revolution bonus, and it severely hampers all of your resource production for however long it takes you to build that bonus back up. It helps if you have some faith already stockpiled to help get that worship up faster, but it can still be kind of a slow process to build back up. Secondly, Epiphany is always carried over between runs. The Epiphany you collected will help you gain worship faster in the next run. So now it's time to answer the question that everybody asks. When should I adore the galaxy? Or how often should I adore the galaxy? Well, the answer turns out to be at the end of a run for sure, because you won't keep your worship, so you should convert it all to Epiphany. You could also do it during the middle of a run if you're confident that you can rebuild your Solar Revolution production bonus up quickly enough that it won't harm your general progress in that run. Part 4. Transcendence. Once you reach 125,000 worship, you unlock an upgrade called Transcendence. Transcendence does two things. Firstly, it allows you to purchase a bunch of these religion upgrades multiple times, and that's actually really useful, so I recommend buying Transcendence upgrade, as this one here, as soon as you unlock it. The second thing it does is it gives you the ability to transcend and increase your Transcendence tier. Just like how worship gives you more faith because of solar revolution, and Epiphany gives you more worship, Transcendence tiers are the next level of that. Each Transcendence tier multiplies the amount of Epiphany that you get when you adore the galaxy. Right now I'm Transcendence tier 0, so I have a ×1 multiplier to adore the galaxy. But if I were to transcend, and then there's a pop-up just to make sure, because it erases part of your Epiphany, if I click OK, nothing happens. One step closer is the message that I get, meaning I don't actually have enough Epiphany to transcend yet. I have 0% of the Epiphany that I need, and that's because in this run I haven't adored yet. So if I were to adore the galaxy and get some Epiphany up, then I could transcend. I'm now Transcendence tier 1. You have transcended the mortal limits, T level 1. And that gives me ×4 to adore the galaxy. The first couple Transcendence tiers are kind of cheap, but after that they require more and more Epiphany. Transcendence tier 2 gives me a ×9 to the amount of Epiphany that I gain whenever I adore the galaxy. And Transcendence tier... looks like I can't afford the next one. I'm one step closer to the next one. I have 28% of the amount of Epiphany that I need. Just like how Epiphany carries over between runs, Transcendence tiers are permanent. The primary effect of Transcendence tiers is to increase the amount of Epiphany that you get whenever you adore the galaxy. But Transcendence tiers also have a secondary effect. There are some upgrades you will unlock later in the game where either their effect scales with how many Transcendence tiers you have, or their unlock condition requires you to have reached a certain number of Transcendence tiers. A lot of players ask, when is the best time to transcend? First, I'll tell you the answer, and then I will try to explain the reason why the answer is what it is. The best time to transcend is at the end of a run. So before you're about to reset, transcend as many times as you can, then adore, and then reset. Now the first run, as many times as you can transcend, will be 0. In the second run, usually you'll be able to transcend 2 or 3 times. And then usually after that, it'll just be 1 transcendence per run. The fact that Transcendence approves adoration and adoration improves praising implies that there's a specific order that it's optimal to do things in. And so the acronym to remember is TAP. Transcend, adore, praise. Transcend because that's what you want to do. Then, secondly, you adore the galaxy so that you can build up back the Epiphany you lost, using the new Transcendence tier multiplier that you have to help you get more Epiphany out of it. And ideally, you will gain more Epiphany from adoring than you spent to gain the Transcendence tier. In the late game, you will probably find it useful to push your Transcendence tier as high as you can. There isn't really any secret trick or anything. If you want exact values of when it is optimal to transcend or recommended to transcend, you can look at the wiki. There are some charts and tables there that are honestly kind of confusing to understand, but maybe those charts will be slightly helpful to you, perhaps. It's a fact of life that mistakes happen sometimes. Oh no, I forgot to transcend at the end of last run. Or, oh no, I adored and then I transcended. That's not the correct order. How can I ever recover from this? Don't worry. You're not permanently set back. All you need to do is just continue playing the game. Transcend when it's time and adore when it's time. In conclusion, the Order of the Sun is kind of complicated. I hope this video made things at least slightly clearer, but at the end of the day, there are 4 different variables to keep track of that all behave differently and have their own quirks. Don't you dare mix them up, because if you do, you'll be confused. I want to say thank you to Bloodriser for making Kittens Game in the first place. It's a fun game. I want to say thank you to the folks on the Kittens Game Discord and Kittens Game subreddit. They have a lot of useful knowledge. I want to say thank you to the people who made the wiki because I've learned so much from the wiki. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Who else do I want to say thank you to? And I want to say thank you to my friends for giving me donuts for my birthday that one time. It was pretty tasty.